Okay, so since they clearly would not let me represent myself, no way, no fashion, I decided to ask to get the attorney. So I go back in court this day. This is February 22nd. And I have this as my public defender. And I asked her to tell the judge that I want copies of the transcripts. And I want access to my contacts in my phone because they never let me call anybody when I was arrested. I asked for my phone to get contacts out to have my family, which is my friends, my people on YouTube, to hire me a lawyer. So we go back and forth with the judge, and I'm in custody, and Miss that public defender said, Your Honor, my client has a couple of requests. Number one, she's requesting transcripts of all the hearings that have happened so far in the court, in her case. And the judge says, respectfully denied. So she says, request number two, she would like to hire a private attorney, but she needs to contact her family, I believe, who's out of state, to hire the attorney for her. She does not have her contact information memorized. Their contact information is her cell phone, which is in her personal property at the jails. She's requesting a court order to have access to her cell phone for that purpose, and the court says respectfully denied. So now they would not even let me hire an attorney. So, this happened. Ms. Jones would like me to confirm her preliminary hearing for you to do one. And then I said, I would like to speak to the judge now. And he just says, respectfully denied. He doesn't want me to talk to him. And he was saying something. And I said, Your Honor, I want to state, ma'am, please don't speak out. I have been locked up, he says. Thank you, ma'am. Please. I said, I've been locked up for 66 days, and you have not. And he says, don't speak out. And I say, let me contact my family. He says, I understand you. I said, you cannot stop me from talking. And then they said, the defendant screaming at the top of her lungs. I was not. But they did remove me because I kept talking. I wasn't screaming. I was just telling them, how are you going to not allow me to contact? You know, I haven't had contact with anyone for 66 days. You're not going to allow me to get in transcripts. You're not going to allow me to have access to my contacts. You're not going to allow me to hire an attorney. So this was, again, a way for them to just hold me down. Now, I went into the courtroom another day, and they gave me another attorney. And I asked him to tell the judge that I still need to contact the higher lawyer. He says yes, he would tell the judge that. I went into the courtroom, and the judge says something about, and they do this a lot, they say discussions were held off the record. They have so much of this in the transcripts where they're discussing things off the records. But what was said was that lawyer, the judge said something about me having another mental health examination, and the lawyer mumbled something. And the judge said, we will set a court date at the mental. I turned around and told the lawyer, I said, what did you say? I said, I didn't ask you to say that. But he mumbled. Whatever he said wasn't even, you couldn't understand it. But he mumbled something. And they said, well, we'll turn over for another court date. Hold on. So I go back in the courtroom this date. Well, the dates might be wrong, but I go back to the courtroom this date. And this attorney is here. But the thing was, this was when I had passed the competency, and I'm sitting in the courtroom. I didn't know his name then. I see him talking to the public defender. And then the court became in session. And then he stands up and say, Your Honor, me and Mrs. Jones, I represent Mrs. Jones, and Miss Jones has been found competent. I turn around and say, Who are you? You haven't introduced yourself to me. I said, Who are you? Okay, well, he says I'm competent. This is the attorney talking to me. Our position is that she is competent. So we'll submit competency report. And of course, say, okay, so you're going to, and Mr. Weaver says yes, as well as the people. And I say, he said something about, do you waive any confrontational issues with respect? And I said, excuse me, Your Honor. I looked at him and said, who are you? But see, you see they haven't, I said, you haven't, but they didn't put the rest of it. But I said this, you haven't introduced yourself to me. So how are you representing me? And he said, oh, I'm sorry. You understand what I'm saying? People speaking up at me I've never met. All of a sudden they're in the court talking. And here they said, it's not going to be okay. First, we need to decide whether you're going to have pro-per status and library privileges. How can you deny anyone access to the law libraries? I've never heard of such a thing. Okay, so May 4th, when that thing spoke up for me, they set me a court date. No, March 29th was the last day I was in court. They set me a court date for May 4th. May 4th, they took me, got me ready to go to court at that West Valley jail. They took me to the courthouse, and I sat there all day, and at 2 o'clock, they said it's time for me to go back. I said, I haven't seen the judge. I said, what happened to my case? Well, your case has been rescheduled till August 10th. This was May 4th. I didn't even go for the court. They set a court date for August 10th. They kept me out of court total 8 months. They did not allow me to go. They have a stipulation that my rights to appear in court were waived. They did not allow me back in the courtroom for 8 months. And when they did allow me in the courtroom, they offered me a plea deal. In November. I took it because they said if I didn't take the deal, I was going to be charged with 3 counts, and I would get 10 years. Count 1, December 19, in addition was assault with a deadly weapon, which carried, I think they said 3 or 4 years. Count 2, second felony robbery. So they added a robbery, which would carry another 3 or 4 years. Count 3, you guys always know that I travel with my little paring knife to prepare my food. So they charged me with a dart or dagger. 3 counts. That would have been 5 years total with the 3 counts. But then they said, since I had a case 24 years ago in Illinois, where I did 18 months, they said that was my second strike. That case in Illinois 24 years ago qualified me with these counts to have my time doubled. So I was looking at 10 years in a case where nobody was injured, hurt. So I knew they was going to stick me with them 10 years. Because they added all these different counts, these different cases on there. Robbery, having a deadly weapon. So, in the last case, I don't want to go through transcripts now, but even though that lawyer, again, I wind up that Miss Happer, wherever her name is, she was my public defender December 6th at my last court date. She said that I should get leniency because no one was injured. But the judge said, and the prosecutor said, it doesn't matter that no one was injured, that somebody could have been injured. And you know, I've seen cases on YouTube now and things where they say, even though you might not commit a crime, you can be charged now for the possibility that you could have. So you don't have to commit a crime to be convicted. They can sentence you because you might, or you could have, or you, something in the future, that there's a possibility that you can commit a crime. And that's what the judge said. That though no one was injured or anything, but it was a possibility that they could have been. And that's what they're doing now. I've talked to so many inmates and people. It has nothing to do with the law. Any interpretation of the law does not convict people for something they could have done. Well, I'm going to end this. So that's how I wind up with the 3-year plea deal. Because they put 2 more other cases and said since I had served time in Illinois 24 years ago, that would make this my second strike. And that since it would be my second strike, I would have to do 85% of the time instead of 50% of the time taking the plea. These are all criminals. All right, guys. I just wanted to get this out before this paperwork disappears. Keep praying. Do your research. Be prepared. Be informed. Be aware. And as Dabu said, Dabu 77, keep your eyes to the skies.